of EVD cases. What is EVD? Ebola virus, okay. I am reading the Minister of Health statement. So some of the things there. So I'm now being told that EVD means Ebola virus disease. Cases by district and sub-county. The total number is 54 as of the 12th of October 2022. Now there you have the numbers, but the Minister of Health doesn't know that you all don't have spectacles, so you can't read those. So I'll read them for you. I'm here. Mbende district, Madudu, 16 cases. Cases means people who were found with Ebola. 7 died of the 16. So that means 9 have either survived or they are still sick. Eastern Division, I don't know, Eastern Division of Mbende Town? Or Municipality Mbende. 7 cases, 1 died. Southern Division, 6 cases, 1 died. Bayeza, 1 case and 1 died. Kasambia, 3 cases, nobody has died. Chiwalinga, 1 case and that person died. Chiruma, 6 cases, 3 died. Kitenga, 1 case and nobody has died. Kiuni, 3 cases and 2 have died. Kasanda, 2 cases and nobody has died. Kalwana, 1 case and nobody has died. Kasure, 3 cases and 1 has died. Kagadi Trading Center, 1 case and that person died. Ruimi, this is Bunyangabo now, near Kawarori. 1 case and nobody has died. Total cases, meaning people who got infected, 54. Those who died, 19. You will recall that in my last statement, I told you about the categorization of districts according to the risk of Ebola spread in the country. Category 1, very high risk, are Mubende, Kasanda, Kejegwa, Kagadi, Bunyangabo. Don't be confused with these pronunciations. Some of the groups say Kegegwa, but Banyankwere with their double consonants, they say Kejegwa. So don't think that I've invented a new district. It is the same one. Only Banyankorenizing the pronunciation. Category 2, high risk. Not very high risk, but high risk. 20 districts surrounding Mbende plus Kampala and Wakiso. Kampala and Wakiso are included in this category because of population movement, trade, and social services. Social service means like medical. Somebody comes for medical treatment, another one comes for education. That's what we mean by social services. Abantu bajja Kampala kulensonga z'okujjanjabisa oba okusoma si kusuubula. And others come for trade, but in addition to kusuubula, okwongera kusuubula, abantu abamu bajja kulwa okusoma okujjanjabisa. Category 3, moderate risk, the rest of the country. As a result of seeking social services, as highlighted in Category 2, I've been told by the Ministry of Health that a 45-year-old male called Twagira Yezu Ndahiro, otherwise called Kakono, who was a known contact under follow-up, was already identified as somebody who had got in contact with an Ebola person. Because here I'm reading Minister of Health language. Sometimes it's Minister of Health have not heard how Jesus came from heaven to earth to be near us. So they use language which you may know. But I am here. I will interpret it for you. So this Twagira Yezu Ndahiro or Kakono was a known contact, meaning that he had been in contact with an Ebola case and was being followed up, was being watched. That's what they mean by monitoring, being watched, whether he will develop the disease or not. And he was being watched from his home in Kansera village, Kirwanyi Parish, Kiruma Sub-County, Mubende District. But he traveled to Luwero District to seek treatment from traditional healer. Kati muwulidde ebyaffe bannange. Ebyaffe. Abantu bange ab'omu kyalo abakozesa eddagala ly'ekinansi mwegendereze muleme okweyingiza mu bintu bino bye mutamanyi. Eddagala amakoola ago nange nagakozesako bwe muto. Mama mange yakolanga okucocoora okuddira olukoni n'atuteeka mu mata n'ampa. Waliwo akasaka bakweta kashaho kali mu ntobazi, ako nako nakakozesanga. Ebiddagala bingi, omululuuza, omujuma, nali nkozesa ebyo okutuusa ng'omwaka gw'omunaana lwe nasooka okugenda mu ddwaliro aga gavumenti. Naye abantu baffe baali bakolagana ku ndwadde zetwali tumanyi eza bulijjo zetumanyi, omusujja, ebyo ebiwuka mu lubuto, endwadde zaffe ze tubadde nazo naye bw'owulira akabenge bw'owulira enduulu nti waliwo namutta bwe tukigamba olaba kati oluganda lwange nti waliwo namutta azze please ebyomululuuza biveeko ebyo byaffe ogambe nti balangiridde empologoma mujera mulindako abantu bange katusooke tuwulire gavumenti kyegamba. We are not saying you don't use our traditional herbs because they can work in some cases, but in the cases which are known to us. Naye bw'owulira akabenje nti gavumenti erangiridde gavumenti najja wano nendangirira nti omulabe ayingidde mwali mumpuliddeko okujja wano okulangirira malaria n'empiyi nti ndangiridde kaweefube w'okulwanyisa empiyi niko constipation bwebagiyita. Do you call it empiyi mwekiri mu Luganda? Ebyo tebindeeta wano n'olwekyo nammwe abamadagala gaffe ag'ekinansi namwe mulina ensobi muzanyira ku bulamu bw'abantu ne muzanyira ku bwammwe ne mutawuliriza. Oyinza okukola byoba okola bw'oba towulidde nti gavumenti erangiridde akabenje naye gavumenti bw'erangirira akabenje akakwata ku ndwadde wandibadde tokkiriza abantu okukutuukirira nobaga nti mpozi kino tukiteeke mu biragiro oba tujye tukiteeke mu biragiro oba tukiteeke nga statutory instrument oba ki nti when there is an epidemic announced, traditional healers don't accept any cases. I think it would help. It would help that yes, you can go on with your because mange mwandule sakabi ogamba mange nti aleme kumpa olukoni. It would be too much aggression because it was my meal. She would come and knock on my stomach. And I can read it. No problem. Naye kati government bwerangirira nti waza akabi tekiba kituufu ate ffe abakozesa okuteebereza guessing ogenda mu maaso so nga tumanyi nti waliwo gavumenti yaffe ye erina ebyuma ebigaziya endwadde zino ne balabira ddala awo watwandibadde tuddako bbali ne tulekera aba gavumenti bagira bakola okutuusa bwe tutegeeza nti kale mudde mu mbeera yammwe ya bulijjo. So what I was saying, those who don't know Uganda, was that while people may be using the traditional healers, and the traditional healers may be accepting customers in normal times, I think we should put it in the law that when the government announces an epidemic, then the traditional healers should stop receiving customers in their clinics and wait for the all clear to be announced. Now, so what happened here? This Twajira Yezu, he now goes from Mbende, and he was already told He was told that you have been in contact with somebody who had Ebola. Don't go from home. Stay here. Let's see what happens to you. Twagira Yezu, instead of listening to that, he went to Ruero. Now you hear how onomusaji yagenda yali asobola kugenda asiga eyo yonna gye yayita asiga obulwadde. Thereafter, so he went to Ruero district to a traditional healer, and then thereafter he was taken to Kirudu Hospital now in Kampala at 5 p.m. And on the 6th October 2022, he was taken on 5 p.m. on the 6th of October 2022 and died 3 a.m. on 7th October. So, I will also talk about that. Now, you see Twagira Yezu now, was poisoning all these people he was approaching. First, he went to a traditional healer. That one he could infect the traditional healer. Then he came from there to the hospital. And if the hospital people were not careful, he would also endanger them. But he was also endangering himself, because you have heard that some of the people survived. I've told you here that the number who survived is like, I've forgotten the number. 20 people have recovered. Why did they survive? Because they were handled by the hospital early. They came early, they were handled, because I will comment on that later. So now, Twagira Yezu has endangered himself, number one, by not remaining where he was told to remain, and if his condition got worse, they would have taken him to hospital. So he has endangered himself, number one. He has endangered the traditional healer. When he was traveling, coming to the hospital, he was endangering the people he was traveling with. Then he gets to the hospital. He endangers the people in the hospital if they are not careful. So, and in the end he dies. And he didn't, he just stayed not even 12 hours, just stayed for 10 hours, and he had, in the hospital he had died. Twagira Yezu was a previously listed contact to his brother Nzairwa Cleophas, an 18-year-old boy who died during a surgical procedure on the 18th of September 2022 at Mbende Hospital. So Twagira Yezu had been identified as a possible person who was infected because he had brought to hospital his brother, Nzairwa, 18 years old, who died in the hospital after surgery. And when he died and they checked, they found he had Ebola. It is this Nzairwa Cleophas who exposed our 6 health workers to Ebola infection, 2 of whom died. On the 23rd September 2022, Twagira was listed as a contact by the Minister of Health surveillance teams and was being followed up, but he became elusive and disappeared from his residence. It is reported that on 3rd October 2022, his condition deteriorated and was taken by his family to a traditional healer in the Ruero district. He should have been taken to hospital, not to a traditional healer. However, he did not improve. Thereafter, on the 6th of October 2022, with the help of his wife, Mutoni, and his other brother, Tata Juya, who are residents of Busega and Natete respectively, he was moved to Kirudi Hospital for further management. While in Kirudi Hospital, Twagira gave wrong names and address to divert the health workers' attention from associating him with the ongoing Ebola outbreak in Mbene, now you can see. So even to identify who he is would have taken time. Because if you had told them that I am this, because this Minister of Health people have, this day they have got computers. And the computers talk to one another. So you will find that if somebody has got Ebola in Mbende, the other computers know. So if you had told them the real name, they would have quickly found out. But he gave a wrong name. But also one should ask the health workers, maybe they don't have time to look at ID cards. They are busy fighting for life. They don't insist on ID cards. I think that would be understandable because they are not immigration officers to examine the cards and know which is what. That one, I wouldn't blame them. He gave wrong names and address to divert the health workers' attention from associating him with the ongoing Ebola outbreak in Mbende. The health workers at Kirudi suspected him to have liver, kidney problems, and peptic ulcers. Because of this, the health workers used protective wear while attending to him. He died 10 hours later. The relatives requested for his body, which they transported on top of a taxi to his village in Kansera, Mbende district, the same morning. The DSO, DPC, and village chairman made efforts to intercept the commuter taxi and carried the body but failed to locate it. However, they were able to intervene to have a supervised burial conducted by the burial teams in Mbende. A sample from the deceased was taken off by the burial team, tested the same day, and returned positive for Ebola. On the 10th October 2022, early in the morning, the LC3 chairperson of Chiruma, Sub-Counter MC Stephen, called the surveillance and security officers to inform them that he and the LC1 at Kansera, Mr. Banjirana, and the entire community had surrounded the family of the deceased and wanted intervention of the health workers. Immediate action was taken by the district leaders and health workers, and 15 people who had been in contact with sick people were picked from 3 homes and taken for institutional quarantine in Madudu for close observation. Institutional quarantine means you are quarantined under government control. Instead of being responsible and being told as a mature man that you stay in your home, don't go anywhere, because that would be home confinement, which can also work if people are responsible. However, 3 escaped before they could be picked for quarantine and are being psyched for by security assisted by their relatives in quarantine. The institutional quarantine is near the Maduri Health Center isolation facility. Twajira and Nzairwa belong to an extended family living in 3 homesteads in Chamuhingi, Ser, in Kansera village, Mbele district. They came from Congo several years ago and settled in Mbende district. I'm told that this same family recently, on the 1st of October 2022, hijacked a dead body of a confirmed Ebola virus disease case and performed traditional burial rituals in total disregard to the SOPs for managing dead bodies of confirmed cases. This same family was also hiding a confirmed Ebola case called Katushave Emmanuel, 49 years old male, who died on the 10th of October 2022, shortly before they were rounded off. The village where this family stays has so far lost 10 people to Ebola. I therefore want to direct as follows. This family must cooperate with the district officials and health workers. They should stop moving around, seeking treatment from witch doctors. I'm happy that the majority are under quarantine. Those who run away should come back for close observation, so that if they fall sick, treatment can be started early. Those who are in hiding should come out immediately and report health workers for proper follow-up. Because you see, the running has no meaning here. Once the virus has entered you, even if you fly, forget about running. The kauka is inside multiplying. And if you don't, but fortunately, this disease is survivable. Because I was told by the, you know me, I like interrogating each situation. I was told that this disease kills mainly by high temperature. That high temperature, the body is not supposed to operate at high temperatures. So if you have got very high temperature for a long time, then the organs are damaged. That's how it kills, I'm told. So I think what the doctors do when you go to hospital, they control the temperature. Then it kills also by losing body fluids. Amazi okugwamu mumubiri, by vomiting and diarrhea also. Maybe sweating also. So when you have those, you have high temperature, you have dehydration, what they call dehydration, losing the fluids, either through vomiting, through diarrhea, through sweating, and they are not being replaced. I hear that that's what damaging is. Is there anything else that damages the virus is also multiply? Let's hear the minister.
Excellency, eventually, because the fluid volume is low, the blood supply to the major organs is impaired, especially the kidneys and the liver, and then you go into hypovolemic shock. But because of low blood supply, the organs also get damaged.
So the blood supply is improved by the fluids.
Yes, Excellency.
So therefore, although the interventions in the hospital do not kill the virus directly, but by stopping the lowering the temperature and by replacing the fluids you lose, it helps the body to remain able to fight. And the body can fight and win. So therefore, no Rachel Banange, okweranga kikulu nnyo, okweranga nti nali kumpi n'omusajja oyo yalwala niweranga bakwita kweranga mu Luganda mwekiri okweropa okweranga izuri nyankole. Okay, okweropa kikulu okweropa n'ogamba nti oyo muntu gwempulidde nti ali mu ddwaliro nali kumpi naye, ne bakugamba nti okay, oba wali kumpi naye gira sigala awaka, tikyetaagisa nakutwala mu kkuumiro lya kifo kya gavumenti gye bakuumira abantu, where they kunganya abantu. Oyinza kusigala makaago kasita otegeraganye n'abakulu ab'ebyobulamu. And then when you start getting sick, they keep checking after some time. If you get sick, they take you for other care now. Biri ebirala byonna bireme okutuukako, bakwatagane nabyo obudde bukyali. Temperature, okusesema, ekiddukano, okutuuyana, ebyo byonna bakwatagane nabyo. And then you have got a better chance of surviving, like these 20 who have survived. But when you run away, you are endangering yourself, and you are endangering all your dear ones whom you are getting to. Kati abadduse balowooza nti kuloga biki ebyo bya kisirusiru. Tewali kuloga wano. Ate n'okuloga okwo nakwo sikulabanga, kubanga lumu nasanga omuntu wange, omuntu w'amaanyi wa movement w'obukiiko bwaffe, omugenzi Konia ow'enakaziba, ebimu bye muyita okuloga si malogo, bulwadde. Kubanga omugenzi Konia afudde ennaku zino si wala nnyo. Omugenzi Konia namusangawo enakaziba, ekigere kyonna kizimbye, akitadde mu ntebe. Konia obadde ki? Nti bandoze. Bakuloze batya? Nti banteze ettalo, oba ettalo. Ettalo kiki? Nalina abasawo bange ne mbayita nti chairman waffe bamuloze. Ne batunula anti gano si malogo. Buno bulwadde buleetebwa akawuka kamanyiddwa, babuyita cellulitis. Bulina eddagala, nti eddagala nawano tulina eddagala. Konia nawonerawo, bamuwa eddagala nawona. Naye ab'okukyalo bona abana movement, ate bana movement si ba kibiina kirala. Tewalimu wa DP, tewalimu bano ebibiina ebirala ebitalengera wala, bonna bali bana movement, ate balwanyi. naye bona baali bakkiriza nti cellulitis kuloga malogo kumbe kawuka bacteria a well-known bacteria abasawo bange naye ndowooza guyinza kuba guli musango gw'abasawo baffe obutakwatagana n'abantu bandibadde bagenda ku radio endwadde ezo ezimanyiddwa ne bazinyonyola n'olwekyo kino tewali kuloga wano eno virus emanyiddwa tumaze okugikebera bonna abafudde tumanyi ekyabatta bano 19 abawonye tumanyi kyebaali balwadde n'olwekyo mulekeraawo okuseketerera kaweefube waffe owokulwanyisa akawuka kano muli bino byakuloga tewali kuloga wano. The communities in the affected districts should understand that Ebola disease is deadly and spread through contact with someone who has symptoms. When you see somebody with symptoms or you develop symptoms, call the health workers to take you to the health facility in their ambulances. Do not jump on a border or a taxi because you will spread the infection to the ones transporting you. The symptoms of Ebola include sudden onset of fever, headache, general weakness, chest pain, pain on swallowing, diarrhea, vomiting, unexplained bleeding from any part of the body openings, e.g. ears, nose, mouth, eyes, anus. The health workers must use appropriate protective wear, gloves, aprons, masks. Whenever they are examining patients, whatever they are suffering from, please, health workers, gloves, aprons, masks. Please protect yourself. The witch doctors, traditional healers, and herbalists should not accept any sick people now. I don't want to say with the symptoms of Ebola what, because you don't know. No. Suspend whatever you are doing. And we shall have to put it in the law. Yeah. Advise them to call health workers for safe transfer to hospitals. Religious leaders should not accept sick people with symptoms of Ebola who come seeking for healing prayers. Abonabo bali awo. Abanadini. To heal by miracle. By miracle healing. Tulina okwogera n'abamakanisa n'amakereziya. Okuwonya bakozesa ebyamagero, miracle. So please, religious leaders, when you touch them, you will contract Ebola. Advise them to call health workers for safe transfer to hospitals. Katonda yatulagira mu kitabo ky'olubereberye, Book of Genesis, establish dominion over nature. So medicine is part of God's work. Science is God's, these are God's laws. Border riders should be vigilant and not carry sick people with signs and symptoms of Ebola. Advise them to call for an ambulance. Kati muwulidde omulwadde bw'awulira alwadde ngeri eno gye tugamba ey'omusujja mu kifo ky'okugenda ku boda kubira aba district bakuleetera ambulance yeba ekutwala. The security supporting the response teams in the district must be very vigilant and ensure no Ebola patients in treatment centers or contacts in the quarantine facility escape. In addition, they should dress up in protective wear and arrest contacts who refuse to be taken to isolation. I think in the future we may have to construct burglar-approved places where we can put such people. Okutekawo ekikomera ky'emitayimbwa. We shall have to build it somewhere. We are going to construct it in Kampala here, so that if you, in the future, you disturb, in a future epidemic, tukuleta ne tukuteekamu ebyuma n'obeera omwo. There has been a lot of rumors and anxiety about confirmed cases of Ebola in Kampala city, specifically Chiruru Hospital. I would like to inform the general public that there is no confirmed case of Ebola in Kampala city. As I already indicated to you above, a confirmed case was admitted at Chiruru Hospital from Benda and died. 24 people have been listed as contacts and are under quarantine because of this person. Because of this person. The people you got in contact with, 24 of them, both medical and non-medical, I suspect. They are all known and they are under quarantine. This event shows you the possibility of Ebola erupting in Kampala if we are not vigilant and people remain defiant for medical advice. But the contacts are of the Kampala case are now all under control. In addition, because of the current epidemic, there are so many people reporting signs and symptoms similar to Ebola within Kampala and Wakiso. Several such alert cases have been tested, and the results have turned out to be negative. So there's some panic. Sometimes people just report panic. The Minister of Health teams will continue to investigate any such cases and inform the public accordingly. So, actually, all this confirms what I told you here when I spoke with you that time, that this disease actually, unlike corona, And like even AIDS is actually easy to deal with. Because you can hear, it's now almost 2 months. Because the first cases where people died quietly, according to my last report when I was here, was on the 6th of August. Those who died in the village, and they buried them there. And you can imagine from that time up to now, we are now talking about 54 cases. If it was corona, it would be a totally different case. Why? Because this disease doesn't go through breathing, as I told you here. It doesn't go through, even when there is contact, it is contact which goes to certain parts of the body. And you remember last time I told you that even if you have the virus, you are not infective until you start showing the symptoms. So all those shows you that this disease is easy to stop. But now you can see the main problem is caused by people who don't listen. Abantu abatawuliriza kuwabulwa. Bano abatoroka naveno nagenda eri. You can see, if they were just cooperating and listening, you would not have had the case of Chirudu. You would not have had anything in Ruero. Even of Nyangabu, it was taken there by these people it was not the spread of the disease spreading. It was people recklessly transporting the disease knowingly when they are already sick. So otherwise it is easy. If we all know that Bunoburwade, Sidogo, and the only people who have got a chance of saving you are the health, the hospital. You can't be in a shrine or in your brother's house and you think you will get the attention, the care, the support that you will get in a government hospital. How will they control the temperature? How will you get intravenous fluids? And of what type? Do they know? And who would be doing that to you safely? Because by touching you, they are endangering themselves, even if they had the capacity to give you intravenous. They are not equipped to handle people like you who is sick. So please, mbega yiride abana Uganda mwena kino mukitegere nti buno obukafiri buno bwe bulese ebizibu bino byonna. Mange yali mulokole buli yalabanga omuntu akola ebitalimu okutegeera ebyobutamanya yali agamba nti nokola ebyekikafiri. Like when we would drink milk without boiling it, that was bukafiri. Or sharing a straw when people are drinking alcohol, bukafiri. So this is bukafiri now. Doing things which have no logic. And yet the logic is there, is well known. In conclusion, countrymen and countrywomen, I would like to appeal to you to remain calm and follow guidance from the health workers. I have seen on the TV that the people are bringing some vaccines. Now, those vaccines, I have not talked with the minister, but I think they should go to the health workers first. Health workers should be the ones to be vaccinated. because they are the ones who are likely to be near. Yeah. Meanwhile, stop shaking hands. Recently we had celebrations here. We got many visitors from outside, important people. I put out an order, no shaking of hands. You saw us at Kororo, no, there's no president whose hand I shook. Shaking of hands is not necessary. I don't know why people... When Corona was starting, the Archbishop of Canterbury came here. And I said, please, no shaking of hands. They were saying that I would get a blessing from the Archbishop if he shakes my hand. I said, no, the blessing can go through air. You just... because God created us in His own image. We were created in the image of God. And God is a God of knowledge, not God of ignorance. In the Bible, the 10 lepers, when they met Jesus, it is said in the book where it is the parable, the story is told. They stood far and shouted, Lord, have mercy on us. They stood far. It is in the Bible. You go and read it. They stood far and shouted because you can imagine 2,000 years ago, people knew public health, preventing spread of disease by social distancing. Yes. Go and read the parable of the 10 lepers. They stood far and shouted. They didn't come to embrace, to shake hands, so that He blesses them. No. They stood far and he threw the word through the air. He didn't have to touch them that miracle healing, you know. Yabakasukira okuonya. He threw through the air the healing and said, you are healed. You go and report to the priests so that you are healed. So that was social distancing 2,000 years ago. In conclusion, countrymen, countrywomen, I would like to appeal to you to remain calm and follow the guidance from the Ministry of Health Workers. Our country has got the capacity to control this epidemic. The government is doing everything possible to ensure your safety. I thank you and I wish you good luck.